Your mind, like honest opinion.
That thoughts.
Exactly, unfiltered, yes.
Ten Hag, first of all, he needs to be sacked. I'm telling you, he's not a serious person. Like anybody that sanctions that amount for
Anthony
is not a serious person.
No, but I think for the amount, for him, them buying.
Is not good. So I'll
but he coached him in Ajax, so I think he probably.
And that's part of
like
the problem.
Sport is a game of emotions, and on Better Sport Podcast, we give you laughter and banter. Welcome to another interesting episode of your podcast show. And I am Ife, and I'm joined with Amara. It's so nice to see our guest again. We have Cerebrone with us again.
Cerebrone.
So nice to see you after that first episode.
Yeah, I enjoyed myself that time, and I decided to, grace.
You even look fatter. Wait till you need chop inside this country too.
I beg no.
And looks younger. Now you probably say he's not 19 anymore. You probably say he's probably 14 years old.
Just
his footballing age is okay. 18 now.
2005, but you watch the Taribo West.
Bender Insurance Live on TV, on YouTube. Okay, God, your lie is documented, definitely.
We're talking about emotions, yes. There's a time where I went through heartbreaks. First of all, are heartbreaks real in sports?
Of course. I've had many, so I can tell you.
What moment has made you very sad in sport?
I think my first football heartbreak was. I'm 19, by the way. My first
emphasis on 19.
It was 1984.
Yeah.
My first football heartbreak was actually Ghana Nigeria 2000 in the final when we lost to Cameroon. First of all, we had a scare against Senegal in the quarterfinal.
Yeah.
They went 1-0 up. I think it was Khalilou Fadiga that scored or so. And then we were looking for a goal. Like, I thought it was over. And then Agawa came and just did whatever he did. I don't know. That guy was just so clutch. He was so clutch. And then we got to the final. I was like, yeah, we are going to beat Cameroon. Within 10 minutes. Our
people for border here.
Within 10 minutes, I saw Samuel Eto'o. Something like this. Running back and forth. I'm like, what's going on? Next thing, Mboma threw Ikeshoru's legs. I said, okay, we are finished. Then we came back. To come back like that. When Okocha scored, and it was like, we're here.
Now we there,
I was like, yeah. And then we lost. I don't think I ever got over that.
Did you eat that day?
I did. I got malaria immediately.
Well, for me, I think I've had lots, as a Man United fan, I've gone through series. At least in the past years, I've gone through series of
what has been the lowest moment? Like that
I think
time.
Definitely has to be. Up there has to be where the basketball team of Nigerian side, the D Tigers, were not allowed to go to the World Cup, recent World Cup, thanks to the issues happening in the NBBF. I was devastated. I was like, on every football, basketball space, these players were hosting because I was looking for avenue to just listen to them. When I listen to them, I'm like, okay, not be me. I be fan. They are the ones that are actually feeling it more than me. But then as for club side, it has to be. That Aguero moment, still, it's a very, I don't know.
But you won the league the year before.
It doesn't seem matter. Like losing the league, it's better you lose the league on probably a point or 2 points, but on goal difference. In that manner, QPR will pay for that sins.
I think in that at that moment, you're just thinking about those goals those chances that some strikers missed.
Exactly.
What if?
Another one has to be the Europa League final against Villarreal. Till date, I've not watched the highlights. I've not gone back to watch the series of, because I hate penalties normally.
That was not long.
But then a player now missed the goal, the penalty itself. I
didn't think there was nothing he could have done about that. But
I think my own worst for club was against Sevilla, 2014 Europa League
the semi-final.
Final, last kick of the ball. We're 3-0 up going to the Europa League final. And the first leg, they had cheated to win 2-0. There was an offside goal that was counted. Also on Bia. And then Mbia went and he just scored. And then Emery went mad. I was celebrating everything.
I think I saw it on your Twitter. You tweeted something.
Yeah, at that moment, no, I'm never going to recover from it. And I hate Sevilla. That's my worst club. So you can imagine, like I hate them.
It's understandable.
So much.
It's understandable. Being a Valencia fan, you definitely not like Sevilla.
Definitely not. But celebrations now, Emery celebration now. I know that as a sports fan now, there are moments, football especially, there are moments that made you celebrate like you don't have to. I'm like, probably when you finish celebration, you just come down like, what did I just do? Just that. For me, it has to be when I was in university, where I think not Europa League, FA Cup, where under Van Gaal's tenure, Man United against Everton, they are going to go up and then they equalized. And then Herrera passed the ball to Martial that was semi-final. Yeah. I remember a friend of mine, she don't watch football. She just followed me there as probably just charge her phone. And then when that goal went in, I don't know when I just stood up from the ground, I climbed the bench. Like it was a view center field with boys where only 2 girls at the back. By the time I stood up there, I started banging the POP. The people in front, they were like looking at me, and my classmates then in school and you come to class and you're very quiet. So this is how you are. Since then, everybody that knows me that moment, they're like, this Man U fan. So it's crazy.
Yeah, I didn't even celebrate like at all. I'm a very calm watcher.
If you go enter, you don't be like.
But the goal I celebrated was when Getafe is also another club I hate. I don't know why I hate Getafe or Sevilla, but I hate them like crazy.
Simultaneously.
Like, I want them to combust.
Like they should relegate
every
time.
When they play themselves, I want both of them to lose. Like that, if they can all collect
collapse.
Cards, like, I hate them so much. And if you see we have a rivalry with Getafe, and our matches with them, they're always red cards. If you want to bet, just when you see Valencia Getafe, you know there's a red card.
I think generally Getafe this season, especially with former Valencia coach is there now. Borderlands now. It's like a satanic football.
He's the worst coach I've ever seen in my life.
He has these
fouls like
fouls and fouls.
Oh
and
my
fouls
God.
and fouls. When he was our coach, I hated him. It was the Valencian coach that I talked about.
Yes.
In the last episode. He's Valencian, but I mean his football is terrible. We had the most fouls in the whole Europe when he became our coach.
What's he gonna do with foul?
Go and check Getafe this season. They're the same thing now.
Always top of Europe for fouls and everything. So that day, the first leg we played them, it was the Copa del Rey run of 2019. We played them 1-0. We lost. Kangin Lee, they stepped on his leg. Someone elbowed someone in our team. I think it was elbowed somebody in the box. Nothing. Then they shouted at Marcelino, our coach, and then they were mocking him when they scored. So we came back second leg. Within 5-10 minutes, they scored. And it was away goals they were using then. So it was like 2-0 down. Halftime was still 2-0 down. We needed 3 goals. And Getafe at that time, if you scored 1 goal, you thank God. Like they would just lock up.
Yeah, I think they had a very, very stable team at that particular time.
Yeah, and they were even like in the running for
Mata, and they had 2 strikers then.
This old man, I've forgotten his name. This old man that was always scoring. But anyway, suddenly we just found a goal from somewhere. Rodrigo just scored. So we needed 2 goals. We entered the 90th minute needing 2 goals against Getafe. And next thing, Kangin just scattered everywhere. First thing,
you guys fumbled that guy.
We did. We did. So Rodrigo scored. We went back. That striker in question, the other striker that we're trying to
remember his name, yeah.
I saw them cannot. Both of them are too
escaping me. Yeah, and then,
but they had good attackers there.
They had these two
old men.
Like they know what they want to do.
I can even see his face. And then he got the ball. It was all alone with our goalkeeper, and he took a shot. And the person that blocked it was Hugo Duro, who now plays for Valencia.
Goduro.
So the commentator said, Toko and Hugo Duro. That's like a block by Hugo Duro. And he was just going crazy. That full commentary, like I still have it in my head, like, Toko and Hugo Duro, Toko and Hugo Duro. Ball just came to Kangin Lee. He just got the ball and just played it through ball to Gamero. Gamero just passed the ball. And then Rodrigo just scored. Go. Everybody just went. See, the way I just stood up, I was like, fuck. I was like, you cross. God. Yeah, transfer my tail that day. I was just typing. Like 5 minutes, I was just typing. I was like, they will die. Get up, you die. I don't want to fight to that much. They fought self at the end of the game. Everybody started fighting. Like,
Wow.
it was pure bad blood. Bad blood. But I enjoyed it so much. Like, the pain. They were tweeting into the night, Getafe fans. They were angry, complaining. I was just enjoying all of it.
Soaking all
Your
the bad.
tears, I want to drink it. I want to get drunk on your tears. That was a moment. I can't forget it. January 29, 2019.
Wow. Well, one honest opinion now, very honest opinion now, bans trolls aside now. I know you don't like the club by the name Red Devils. You don't like Manchester United. I'm wearing red, actually. You don't like Manchester United now. But then currently now, what do you think is going on at the club?
The club?
Like in general, yes. Footballing from top down. Your mind, like honest opinion. Exactly. Unfiltered, yes.
Ten Hag, first of all. He needs to be sacked. I'm telling you, he's not a serious person. Like, anybody that sanctions that amount for
Anthony
is not a serious person.
No, but I think for the amount, for him, them buying,
is not good. So I'll
but he coached him in Ajax, so I think he probably.
And that's part of the problem. Like, I know that coaches will always go for players that they are familiar with when they go to new clubs and everything. But there are sometimes, like what he's saying now, saying that, what do you call it? He said that what he played at Ajax.
He can't play the money.
Can't play at Man.
Why do you not bring?
Why did they hire? Why are you signing
players from Ajax?
If you feel that you can't use those players here and play the game you want to play. Every manager has a philosophy. That philosophy is stable. Everywhere you go, you're expected to now
bring that philosophy in.
We like this guy's style of play. We like the way he's managing this thing. Come here and implement
your philosophy, exactly.
How will you go from another club to this club, then suddenly you are a transition manager? Is that what you
I think one of the worst things he mentioned was he saying that we want to be one of the best transitional team. Because I think under Ole Gunnar, we already had that already.
Yeah, you already did that. And nobody actually is supposed to set out to do that. It's supposed to be like a consequence of something. Like you already have your set system. You can't be a transition
team as a big team.
Especially as a big club. It doesn't make any sense because you're going to play smaller clubs. Are you going to be sitting back
waiting for them to...
My problem with Ole back then was that Ole used to play basketball football with anybody.
Okay.
You are at home. I can't forget this Everton game that you people played. I think you lost 1-0.
Yeah, we did, yeah. I think Townsend scored that goal.
Yeah. Was it Townsend? I can't even remember.
I just know
that, it was great. I think it was great. That game, Everton will come, attack. Man, you collect ball.
You guys will do later rubbish.
You're at home.
It'll be big team.
The game.
You need to kill the momentum of the game and build slowly and peg them back and leave them there. You can't be allowing people come to your post every
Especially
time.
small teams.
Especially small teams. Like, it doesn't make sense. If you do like that against Man City and sit back, I get
Fine.
it. But you're playing against Everton, Aston Villa at home.
No Crystal
And
Palace.
you are going back and forth. No big team does that. If you check Barcelona, Real Madrid, Man City, you can't attack Man City 2 times, 3 times in 5 minutes.
Even Arsenal don't even allow that. Even Aston Villa itself of recent don't even do that.
Even when they lose the ball, they lock you there. You can't go to their posts. You don't
allow them to an error or something. A misplaced pass now gives you the opportunity.
Every chance you get against Man City, for instance,
you have to make the most of
because the next time you get a chance, maybe under 20 minutes,
you go sweat.
Like you will sweat. That's how a big team is supposed to be. Like, you're supposed to have control. You can't have control when you're doing transition. You can never. Because control is about having, the ball more and being able to restrict your opponents. Or
the team,
when you don't have the ball, you dictate where your opponents will touch the ball. I learned that from Marcelino. Marcelino changed how I saw football because I was a purist before. But with Marcelino, I got to see him control. We'll play Barcelona. We'll have 7 big chances. Barcelona will have 1. And we'll touch the ball only 25% of the time. But you see, those 25%,
it will make the most
in very
of it.
critical areas.
Yeah, in critical areas. And when Barcelona had the ball, there were zones they couldn't enter because we're very compact. We'll tell you where to go with the ball. So we'll block
probably shift to them towards the throw-in.
You get that's control. You can control the game without the ball and with the ball, but you have to be very deliberate. You can't do it as a transition.
I think that's something that the current Tottenham manager has for Tottenham, Postecoglou.
Look, when you people played the Wolves last season, and even the season before that, under Ole or something, Bruno Fernandes collect the ball 2 minutes into the game, what you're supposed to be doing at that point is building rhythm.
I think he just played
Pass. Bruno
Blast the ball.
pass.
Like I said, one thing about Bruno Fernandes is the fact that he does the first thing on his mind. And then the worst thing about him also is that he does because sometimes those passes turn out to be great assists.
You're not supposed to, like, it's not good habit to be doing it every
Constantly.
time. Because I was looking at stats one time because I like looking at numbers. I just like looking for patterns. So I was looking at Coutinho, Ozil, KDB, Silva. I was looking at their numbers for through balls and big chances created and all of that. I was just trying to compare, look for a pattern there. I noticed that Coutinho was playing more through balls than everybody in that period. I was like, why is Coutinho playing more through balls? But then I now went up and checked big chances created. And they were all creating like twice the number of big chances.
Coutinho is creating.
Coutinho was creating. So how is Coutinho playing so many through balls and
he's not creating
anything?
big chances?
What's happening? And we know that forget like assist of assists, right? All those pre-assists. Because David Silva is the king of that. And he's still having twice the big chances that... I was like, I need to understand this thing. I went to like really observe it very well. I realized that Coutinho was just playing. Anytime Coutinho just
from the middle,
run,
exactly.
Whether you're not thinking of what's going to happen once the ball leaves your feet and maybe someone steps in, how close is someone to blocking
that person
or blocking that person?
Yes.
You're not looking at it. Guys like Ozil, they see the pass. Silva, even Xavi,
you see the movement.
See the pass. You see that this pass, it looks good now, but in the next 10 seconds, it's going to be a useless pass.
At Paul Scholes.
So you just watch and then you stop. And he will just turn back. Xavi will just turn back and pass to Iniesta.
Like,
they can even pass to
themselves, him and Busquets.
And then they find it
They'll
opening.
wait for you to come. And
once they are out of that,
and that's play the pass. But Coutinho, get ball. Fabregas does that thing too. It's just that Fabregas was very good at executing. So,
his quality
Fabregas
surely
gets
showed
the
up.
ball. He just looks up and he plays. That's why he didn't excel in Barcelona in
That
midfield.
way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because Barcelona, they are a very patient team. It happens to Coutinho too. You can't excel in a team that is patient if you are someone that wants to play through.
It's like it's like taking Bruno to Man City, for instance.
Like, they'll cut it out of him. They'll use... Pep will tell him to pass back.
When Bernardo
Pass back.
starts...
When you pass back 5 times, you are frustrated already. You will learn patience. When people were saying that Coutinho was going to replace Iniesta, I was like, how?
The way for some people
From where to where?
The way some people make some comparisons, like,
do you get?
how? Coutinho was playing in his team where once they get the ball, the transition is
Like
very, very
heavy
fast.
metal. That's
Very,
what
very
they
fast.
were. So, of
FMS
course,
where
just
Firmino,
give
Mane,
Coutinho ball, he
Salah.
has played the true ball. Everybody is happy. But you can't do that in certain... You can't go to Barcelona and be playing... They will remove you.
What the trouble for? I think he also got it bad at the kind of signings Barcelona were making at that time.
Yeah.
The signing Malcolm, Kevin Prince Boateng.
Yeah.
And that brings us to the original problem of Man U. You cannot have a club without a sporting director or without someone that will tell the coach no. Because the coach is only there for his immediate success. He doesn't care about the future of your club.
True.
He's here until they sack him.
Until end of the contract.
And that was also my issue with Mourinho in many...
Different
Mourinho
clubs.
is here to win now.
He does not
If
care.
your future enters gutter,
Don't consign them.
Mourinho has gone.
Otilo.
Good luck to you. But he's going to make decisions that are very short-termist. And you now need someone to balance that. Someone inside, but a football person. Man, you didn't have a football. They had Ed Woodward. We didn't know whatever I was sanctioning.
Give them
Ed Woodward was thinking in terms of money.
good businessman.
I think the same thing goes to the owners also, the Glazers.
I gave you 50 million last season.
What's
Bought
the
somebody.
investment?
What have you done with the person I gave you? Yeah, you're coming back to me to give you
Give me
another
another
50 million. Now, Ed Woodward will back you when you first come. He will give you all the money you need to buy whatever. When you have now bought all those people, Woodward will now say, I want another player. What happened to the 50 million I gave you last season? Come and explain why I should give you another 50
And that's why Man City is excelling with Pep, because he signed some players, and even though
exactly.
it turned out not work,
Yeah.
they'll buy another one for him as soon as possible.
Pep is there for the long term, and it was always clear.
Clear
Plan
from
in
the
long term.
beginning. Same with
But
Jurgen Klopp.
You can't plan long term with a coach that you know that he might go after 2 seasons or 3 seasons. Once he's tired of this place,
Yeah.
he will just pack his bags. So you need someone to balance it. Now, Valencia losing Kangin Lee, let me use that as an example. he had 1 year left on his contract. The previous coach had sabotaged him because the coach was angry with management and he wanted to get back at them. And Kanginle was their golden boy. So he decided to be benching him just so that he could get back at them.
Yeah.
Okay, that one now got sacked. New coach now came. Coach wanted a particular player. Kangin was not going to sign a new deal because he was already frustrated that he wasn't getting to play. He had 1 year left. He wanted to play that 1 year, then go for free. Then new manager came and said, there's somebody I want, but he's a non-EU player.
Yes.
And there's one person here that is taking that non-EU spot, and that's Kangin Lee. Because Koreans don't get dual nationality.
Yeah.
Yes.
You are either Korean or you are not. So even though he had been in Spain all that time, he was foreign. So coach said, I want this guy. This is my priority signing, Marcos Andre. I want him. His special club brought out 8 million and signed Marcos Andre. But they needed to get rid of Kangin to do that. So they gave the coach what he wanted, but they had to sell their future.
Yes.
In fact, they terminated Kangin's contract and kicked him out.
I was surprised at that decision. So surprised. PSG, goodbye.
You know? But what you did in that moment was you saw the club's future for a coach that you sacked after 1 season. Marcos Andre, who replaced Kangin, scored, I think, 4 goals in 2 years. And now I've sold him, and we sold him for a big loss.
We 1 million.
So now you have lost on both fronts.
Yes.
The Marcos
Future
Andre didn't give
hopes.
you anything. That's why I supported Man U when they didn't allow Mourinho sell Martial and I think Shaw.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shaw
Shaw.
gone. Because for me, I think it's necessary that someone is there to say, this person is a long-term project, because you might not like this guy now,
Yes.
but the next coach might love him. Because funny enough, after we now got rid of Kangin, the next coach we had, Gattuso, the person he needed,
was Kangin Lee.
but we had
In
already
that
gotten rid
traditional
of him.
phase.
Do you get? So at the end of the day, we now suffered for that. So every club needs one person that is there whose job is to look after the club's interests long term. Then coach will look after his own interests in the short term. Then they will find
A balance.
balance. Sometimes coach will get what he wants.
Sometimes the club
Sometimes
gets
club
what they
will say,
want.
no, you can't have
Yeah.
this. So now if Pep comes into Man City, yes, as much as he wants to give him power and everything, and Pep says, I want KDB gone. And let's say this is 2016. When Pep just,
Kim at that
I
time.
want KDB gone. I don't like him because KDB is not my kind of player.
Yeah.
It's not Iniesta or Xavi. Anybody that sanctions that is crazy. No, as much as you are Pep, you are special. KDB is not going anywhere. You will find out to use him. But why not say, because what if you leave tomorrow? You have sold someone that is a special.
I think that's the same thing Chelsea did. Yes.
Did
Got
for
rid of
Salah,
Salah.
even Ruben.
And then Mourinho was gone in 2 seasons. And then fans started lamenting that,
How'd I do?
kept, do you get?
Even as little as Lukaku. When they loaned him out to the West Brom, and
You know, Pep wanted Dani Alves. Dani Alves
That's
was
right.
asking for crazy money. Club said, lie. We're not sanctioning this move for Alves.
Yeah.
You cannot be paying this guy the kind
Huge
of money
amount
he's
of
asking
money.
for. He's 35.
that's
or something.
Barcelona. That's
So
when he
you
went to
block-
Juve.
Of course, Pep didn't like that, but he had to accept it. Pep wanted Jorginho, he wanted Van Dijk, wanted Fred. They looked at it and they said, the money they're asking for is too much. We are not going to sanction this deal. We don't think the player is worth that kind
Those
of money.
money,
So
yeah.
they looked after their interests, and Pep had to accept that. There are times when Pep wanted something and they gave him. They said, okay, we can allow this.
Gave him
So
stones.
there has to be that balance, and everybody has to be willing to compromise. But you can't have a club where the coach is the one.
Get to the players.
Ah,
I think one of the issues I have with Ten Hag is the fact that every player he signed, if not almost all the players he signed, either in his previous club, he wanted to sign that player there, or he has coached that player. I'm like, what are the scouts in
You might
the
even check
club
and see that
doing?
He has the same agent. Maybe as he.
Yeah, like is that
can
the
happen.
player is linked to
So
the coach.
if you have a coach who is doing the bidding of his agent to help his agent to also bring players
Into the club.
into the club and increase their profiles and get them more money, that's not in the interest of the coach. Is looking after himself and his agent. At the club, you have to analyze it too. Do I really want this? Now, Chelsea wanted to sign Mamadashvili from Valencia, the goalkeeper.
Yes.
Yeah, the goalkeeper.
But they eventually went for Sanchez because there was someone inside who had worked with Sanchez at Brighton, the person that they recruited from Brighton. And that was the person he was going for. And you check now, you see that there are deeper links between the two.
Both of them,
That's the
yes.
football world. So the club has to also be smart and say, as much as, we get links and everything, they matter, but is this thing in our interest? And block it. Block it if you don't think so. Because I feel that Mamadashvili is better than that guy. Mamadashvili is very good. Like, he's insanely good. He's like Courtois. Very, very tall.
And so, yeah.
Reflexes are crazy and all that. That guy, you sign him, you have 10 years.
Yeah, quite young too.
Exactly. It's like 22. 10 years. He's going to give you, could be even 15 years because he's a goalkeeper. But you don't do that because there's someone inside that wants this guy to come. And, things like that, clubs have to look after.
So Ten Hag gone.
Yeah.
Signed a sporting director inside.
Signed
and then...
sporting director. But the first thing is your philosophy. You have to have something, because as a club, your philosophy can't be changing based on the manager.
Yeah.
So today you sign a manager that is part of the boss manager. Tomorrow, transition.
People ask this question now. People ask this question now. What exactly was Sir Ferguson's philosophy? Because we always hear even Ten Hag mentioned it, the Man United's DNA.
I hate when they say things like that.
He annoys me.
What's the DNA exactly?
Because even I saw on social media, someone was comparing Pep to Ferguson, and he made some quite interesting topic and said that if you look at controversial though, if you look at Pep's club sides he has coached, there's a pattern of play where you see like something that's imprinted there, where players who just come in from academy just slot straight into the philosophy. Now you go down to Manchester United since Ferguson left. Now, even when Ferguson was there, we know that Man U when comes counter attack like this, were very good. But then the academies there, okay, we know due to the club of 92, the Beckhams them. But since that particular time now, which link up is there between the first team and the academy, like a philosophy whereby that. In Ajax, we already know that this is part of play they play in Ajax. In Barcelona, this is the same thing. I think that's the reason why Arsenal stuck with Arteta, because they said that he's following Wenger's blueprints. Yes. Yeah. So I think the club right now has to. But then if you say sack Ten Hag, he's someone that at least for the first time is bringing a philosophy. Okay, Mo. Louis Van Gaal brought a philosophy actually. Yeah. Even though it was pass the back, pass the ball to the back.
But at those times, Van Gaal was very unfortunate with injuries and players.
Because the injuries, Van Gaal was boring because boring, it was just past the back, but he had something that he wanted to.
It was a long-term project.
It has to be like top down. Everything has to. That's why it's not a fluke that Barcelona, every time they bring a new player in, first of all, you see technically gifted,
very, very technically gifted,
and that even helps. Like that reputation helps, because if you hear that a player came from La Masia anywhere, the first thing you do is you expect the player to already be technically gifted. Yes. That even helps the players. Like they know that if they go through La Masia, no matter how trash they are, people will give them a chance.
Exactly.
Because they came from. So they'll just say, this one must be technically good. So I've passed through.
This one, yes.
So he to even play, make his debut.
And it so happens that no matter the system they want to even play in the senior team, those players will slot in. Because there's a way that there are some fundamentals that must be maintained, and you always see it, and that's so necessary. But then you go to Man U and it's just all over the place. What is your philosophy? Doesn't even have to be something very comprehensive, or you must play tiki-taka or something like that, or whatever, or Diego de position. It could just be that number one, we develop the technical qualities
of the players.
Anybody that is coming to the first team must be technically gifted. So even all our signings must have a certain technique level, so that no matter where they put them,
they can adjust.
You get. So that means that you're signing
McTominay is not. I didn't say
highly technical.
McTominay is a man you
is a technically gifted.
No matter what system the coach wants to play, as far as it requires a certain level of technique, the player will be able
fitting.
Exactly.
And they will be able to switch this buying and selling of players.
Yeah. And you're signing only players that have a certain technique. Arsenal are doing that. That's why they have Saliba at CB. That's why they signed Zinchenko. All those guys, right? That's why they signed Gabriel as well.
Declan Rice also.
Declan Rice. There's a certain technical level you have to have.
It's not about just signing the players. Yes.
And I feel that you are more likely to get away with incompetence and problems and all sorts of things. Challenges if you are technically gifted than if you are power and pace. Because there's a certain limit that power and pace
I'll give
get
you.
to.
but it's
Ask
extra
Traore.
level. You can come out of problems just off that.
At that moment.
So I'd rather have 11 technical footballers
Than
who
power
might
and
not be
pace.
physically imposing or whatever, but the fact that when ball enters their leg,
You know what to do.
Somebody should ask
I'll
Iniesta.
take that over every minute, pace and power, because that's how.
Traore.
If the two of them should meet, pace and power FC, Technical FC,
Technically,
this one's
be
not
beat
touchable.
peace and power.
We
Down.
pass around them,
Yeah.
no
But-
matter how big you are.
Well, that brings us to the next question now, because some players in some club sides are fantastic. You can see Sancho, Bellingham, and what's his name? And Haaland did well in Dortmund. And now both of them were on center stage at Ballon d'Or recently. And then you see Sancho, who is somewhere still yet to apologize to Ten Hag because of one or two issues. Now, but when he left Dortmund, was doing well Dortmund.
Yeah.
And then he comes to Manchester United.
he
Why
was
is it that
causing a lot of issues.
players and coaches leave a particular club and go to another side, and then you cannot even do the same thing they're doing or better in that club side?
I believe that one of the main problems with scouting for big teams is that they don't do their homework.
Proper
The
research.
basics.
Yeah.
Proper research.
You want to sign somebody, you will not look at the system where the person is thriving, the conditions
where he came from.
that the person is thriving in. Like Sancho was always someone who liked ball to
Hold the ball,
liked
yeah.
1-2s, associative play.
Yes.
For Man City
Link up,
Academy,
link
what do you
up.
You get,
expect?
that's the kind of player he is. You now sign him and you want him to be an explosive winger.
No.
He doesn't
Never.
have explosiveness inside him. He's not that kind of player. He's not a Rashford type of winger. He's someone that wants to play with you. Come close. 3-4 people are with me. Pass, collect ball, move.
let's
pass,
confuse
pass.
them.
Next thing, they've reached your post. That's how he has always played. You now sign him, carry him to a system that is the complete opposite of whatever he thrives in.
What
Conditions
the
are
kind
not
of
even helping
initiation?
him.
I think I've watched games in his first season when he came into Man United, and then he passes the ball to probably Luke Shaw, for instance, and he's expecting a link up
Sure,
back.
exactly.
And then even when he gets the ball back from Luke Shaw is just standing there. I'm like,
And
bro, move now.
Move.
So like guys like that, Pepe. I always talk about Pepe, right?
Nicolas.
Yes, Nicolas Pepe. I followed Pepe from Angers to Lille to Arsenal to Nice to Trabzonspor now that he is. Like he's someone I've been very invested in personally because I saw him grow. First time I saw him was a game against PSG. Angers were playing PSG.
Oh.
There was just this boy that was just
Doing this.
I was like, what
Headache.
guy? Then he went to Lille. He didn't first shine at first because Bielsa was trying to play him as a striker.
Yes.
And he's not a striker. And he played some of his worst games as a striker. The next thing, Gautier came in, moved him back to where he was good, and started using him in a certain way. Now, when Pepe was in Lille, he had Zeki Celik, a right back who used to bomb forward. Always. And Celik would play with you, and Celik is very, very good on the ball. He will play with you, he will move, he will pass back to you. What Pepe just wanted. And then Pepe also had a 10 that he could work
Link
with.
up with it properly.
So that one will come close to him. That was Jonathan Ikone.
Ikone, Florentina.
I don't know how people. I don't know. Maybe in my eye. I don't. Sometimes I wish. Are they blind?
yeah.
Scout. What are you scouting?
Fiorentina
Jonathan
now,
Ikone, like
Ikone was so good.
very good player.
And Leao was playing as a 9. Leao was actually playing as a 9.
Yeah,
that
he
was
just
their
burst
9,
onto
but
the
Leao
scene
used
then.
to move
Around, yes.
around a lot. And he had
As that
those-
kind
Like
of
a free
Rashford, that
roll,
particular
free
time
roll.
when Rashford burst onto the
burst
scene.
So you have someone that is so like everything around the
Was
Lille
clicking.
attack. Everybody was
Very
moving.
flexible.
Bamba, Ikone, Pepe. So and once Pepe gives Celik the ball and Pepe moves inwards, Celik will cut it back to him. Pepe has the ball where he's very good, where he can shoot.
R2.
He has hit a shot, he has scored. And the key was always put Pepe in situations
Those
where
positions.
he can just take shots. And you have, he's going to give you 40 goals and assists in a season, guaranteed. I always said that. Then Pepe went to Arsenal. First season under Emery, first few months under Emery.
They hold the ball.
I'll see Pepe on the right. There was nobody in the center.
Yes, to link up with.
Link with. His fullback
I
wasn't
think
coming forward.
then he was having Elneny, Shaka
Like,
at the DM.
there was nobody coming. Fullback is not coming to.
The fullback then was this guy.
Bellerin was
Bellerin,
there.
yes.
And for some reason, Bellerin was not bombing forward. He was just staying back. I was like, what's going on? what's happening? I was pointing it out that this thing, you are not optimizing this guy. And with players like that, it happens that when you get to a particular point, you start to lose your confidence.
Of course, it happens. It's a mental game. You're trying to live up to the billion.
You're now trying to do too much to prove that you are worth the money.
The money.
And when you start doing that, you now start playing like a more isolated game where you collect the ball.
Personal ambition.
And like Pepe now had to be dribbling 3-4 players just to even be able to get into certain positions.
Yes.
Because fullback is not coming. You are crowded out. You have to dribble. Then they started complaining he's dribbling too much. So at some point, he stopped dribbling. If you check, his first season, he had like...
dribbles, yes.
And then next season,
he was always on skill show.
You just get there and you pass back. Because everybody said he's dribbling too much. And I remember it was that Olympiacos game where he caught. Actually, he was looking for...
space to pass, yes.
And he couldn't see it, so he cut back. They said, why didn't he pass? I was like, no, he's looking for the space. He's not seeing it. And nobody's coming, really close to him so that he can. So everybody said, oof, this guy is dribbling too much and everything. Then by the time Arteta came, in fact, Emery sabotaged him too because Emery wanted Zaha.
Oh, okay.
And you know at
that particular time.
This is the player I want. Club said,
this is one wants to sign.
I've now signed the guy. At first, he's not playing well, so I told you so. Yeah. Next thing, he went to score 2 free kicks.
How does that?
The next game,
you must start him.
He not start him. Did he start him? I think the next game or 2 games after, Emery just benched him and started bringing him from there. We're not playing him in useless Europa League games.
Yeah.
Not bench him in the
next Premier League games.
Give him any continuity. Let him start games consistently. Then when Arteta came, I thought, okay.
Somebody will give him a chance.
Everybody was crying out for Arteta to play a 10. But Arteta didn't want to play Ozil. Because I think club was having some
issues. Yes.
They had issues.
They needed a 10. And they started losing matches at some point. They were losing. That Arteta almost got sacked.
Yes.
And what happened? So he now brought a 10 in. That's when he used Smith Rowe.
Yes.
And that thing completely changed everything.
The team, he changed him.
Came Odegaard. Funny thing, in this present Arsenal system, Pepe would have thrived because he would have had that 10.
Yes.
Yeah, and they have the right back. White is not really there exactly, but they are.
But Arsenal now do give and take. Like that's how Saka is striving now. Saka started as a left back, like I remember, and then I moved on to winger, and he's enjoying that link-up play with these players.
Saka, they are giving Saka too much work to do because of the fullback not coming.
White is not coming forward. Yes.
Saka has to, but what helps Saka is that
Odegaard comes towards his area.
So they are still able to do combinations. If you leave Saka alone, no 10. You're going to give him too much work. At some point, you now start wondering, like, what's happening? It's not that
he's a good player, yes.
That's, so I pointed out those things. And then there was a point where Pepe started to pick up. And he was now scoring. He ended the season with like 4 or 5 goals in like 6 or 7 games. And it was like, okay, maybe he's ready to cook. Next season, I'm trying to buy Willian.
Why?
Pepe's minutes that season were 7 matches. If you add them up, 90 minutes, 7 matches. 7 in a full season. They now
something games.
Saka. Saka will play 80 minutes for a match that you're already
playing for left back, playing right back,
now
left wing.
Pepe 10 minutes in. Now, you also have to understand the player you have. Pepe is not an impact sub. We also saw him at the Nations Cup.
Yes, we did.
Now, Cote d'Ivoire had this guy, Aurier.
Such a rare. What people was always here.
They now had Sangare and Seri and Kessie. They knew
in midfield, yes,
always connecting with, and they
Kessie had the opportunities to go forward.
So you could see, like, I kept shouting that. Are you people not seeing what I'm saying? I'm not saying that he's a
fantastic player,
but if there's a way you will use Pepe, it will give you guaranteed goals and assists, because you just always, they say it's not good to build up. Okay, it's not good to build up in your opinion, but I've seen him good in build up in Lille, but it's fine. Why not build up from the other side? Saka was playing, there was a time they were using Saka as like a wing back.
Yeah.
And it was working. Why not use Saka there with your Odegaard or whoever?
Yes, we'll be linking up with him.
Let them link up, let them build up and get to the front. Then cut the ball back.
For him.
Where Pepe is. Pepe just needs to be in a position to shoot. Let him just hit. Like, these are the things. But it felt like Arsenal didn't even scout the guy. Like, properly.
Yes.
So, he scored 20
goals in the
exactly.
Record signing.
Sign him. And that's the same thing with Sancho. That's the same thing we see all the time. Clubs will sign players, no idea how to use them. Tottenham signed Soldado. back then.
No need.
This guy Soldado and played inverted wingers for Soldado and CMs. And I said, are these people crazy? I was confused because Soldado is a player that relies very heavily on
cross.
Negredo was the one that
Negredo better player.
Soldado could not hustle like that. Soldado was one touch. Soldado almost flopped in Valencia.
I think that's the reason why currently now in Tottenham, I can remember they signed Besuma under Conte.
Yeah.
Yes, they signed Sa. Is this Sa?
Yeah.
Yes, Sa under Conte, and then he wasn't playing then. And then
now,
this guy comes in and he just gets Madsen and pairs them together in midfield.
Those people, because his coach said, "I don't like this
He was playing more of skip.
You get. Soldado in Valencia, he only started thriving when he played in front of a 10. Mata was with him. Then he now had Pablo Hernandez, who was a very direct winger.
Cutbacks were there.
I think that's the reason why Rasmus Højlund is currently struggling at Man United right now, because service is not getting it.
Like the kind of service that you look at the player, what kind of service does this player thrive with? Soldado was playing with inverted wingers. That's Townsend who cut in and start shooting. And you have a striker that is looking for...
It's like signing Osimhen to come and play for Manchester United.
You're just going to stress him. You have to now have him running to the side, to go and hustle ball.
It is not needed at all.
Look at the striker you are signing. What service works for this player? That's why you can't convince me that all these guys are bad players. Especially when I've seen them thrive in other places. I've seen them in other systems. You say Lukaku is not good. Okay, we've heard. But Lukaku now goes to Inter and scores 30 goals.
And wins the league.
And wins the league. Next season, scores 30 goals again. And you're saying Serie A tax. How are these not professional footballers at the highest level? Are they not playing Champions League? Are they not, what do you mean Serie A Bundesliga tax? How is the Bundesliga tax? Look at the system that the person thrived in. Anybody that is an elite footballer or in the elite level, that's top 5 leagues, can thrive anywhere. There's not much difference between those leagues.
Yeah.
I'm telling you the truth. If you check the numbers on FBref, check all the numbers for all the metrics, you see they are around the same range. And it always changes with the league, like the highest, lowest.
Yeah.
So you know that there's something familiar or similar.
So in your opinion, Ligue 1, Bundesliga, they are not Farmers League?
No, they are not. I'm a very huge proponent of Ligue 1, so like...
They are not Farmers League.
I'm covering my face because we always hear that story. Ligue 1, Farmers League.
Bundesliga.
It's
Farmers League.
It's lazy to say that. For instance, Saint-Maximin, when he was in France, Pepe was nominated for Player of the Season. Saint-Maximin wasn't. Pepe was instrumental. By far the one performing more, scoring more goals, doing everything more. Everybody was like, this guy has come from nowhere. And Saint-Maximin is not even serious.
Yeah.
What he's doing is not that, Then they came to England. Pepe was now struggling.
Saint-Maximin was flourishing.
So you now say, because Pepe is struggling, Ligue 1 is bad. But Saint-Maximin that was
bad,
doing as well.
So well in Ligue 1.
It's striving here. What does that mean? In fact, the place where I just said there's no more arguments was when Messi came and scored 6 goals. If the best player of the old generation will come to a league and have issues, doesn't that also tell you that maybe it's not that the league is bad? Maybe it's about
the circumstances that are around.
Alexis Sanchez went from Arsenal.
Is a topic.
To Man United.
Is a whole topic.
Then, you see, people now start thinking when things like that happen, because they can't say the league was bad or something, because it was the same league he came from.
Same top club.
So now they have to actually now think and say, okay, since it's not about changing league, what happened? Why did he start playing worse?
Yeah.
That's when they now start thinking.
He was focusing on keyboard.
Was Benteke scored 23 or 24 goals.
Aston Villa.
Then goes to a better team.
Liverpool.
And
so
now you have to think that, okay, so he didn't... What happened? Torres went from Liverpool to Chelsea. What happened? But if Torres had gone from Liverpool...
So maybe AC Milan.
Then he didn't play well. Then you now have an AC Milan fan saying, Premier League is not good.
Yeah.
That's not how it works. And in the same vein, if Torres had come from outside England, after shining like that and come to Chelsea and flopped, because we saw it with Shevchenko.
Sure, it's Falcao too.
Maybe that Italian league.
Somehow.
It happened to Falcao.
It's such a lazy thing. Falcao was coming back from an ACL. He struggled for like 2 seasons. Over and about. It was when he found himself again in Monaco. It was more settled, more pressure. He could now play his game. He now started getting his form. Like, these things matter. Then people don't look at the intangibles.
Yeah.
Fans.
They talk about Iago Aspas, that Iago Aspas was a flop in Liverpool.
You do so well in Scotland.
Spain must be bad.
Like Iago Aspas to flop.
For him to flop in Liverpool and then go back to Spain and pop again. But even Aspas, he first went back to, I think, Sevilla. He didn't really try.
Before going to Celta.
He went back to Celta. And what happened? Iago Aspas is like someone that grew up in a village. He's a village boy. Very attached to his culture. He had to fly his friends to England when he was struggling because he couldn't adapt to the
Espanol
area. Like,
English.
he was like, what am I? Where am I?
The food, the water, people, everything.
Like, too many people. Imagine someone that grew up in a village, cool, calm, everywhere breeze.
Now, like in New York, very noisy place.
If I just come from village to Lagos, you'll be looking at everybody like...
We should have a hold of like 2 hours.
JJC.
Your body
They
go
call
tell
it
you.
JJC now.
And
The body go tell you.
Players.
It does.
But everybody said, can Aspas be doing this? He's like a hero in Celta. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody knows their families. So obviously, it happened to Reyes in England. Reyes said, take me back. I don't want to be in this.
He went back to Sevilla.
I hate London. He ran away. But everybody's looking at just the on-pitch performance and saying this person is not good. But there are things that affect players. Simple things. Someone could be going through a divorce. I remember also when Mustafi was struggling in Arsenal.
Yes.
And I said something and everybody was just laughing at me. And I was like, I'm being serious. His wife gave birth around that time. Right? And I said, it was just conjecture, but I was like, you don't even know whether maybe this guy is staying up late at night because of the baby or something. It's starting to affect him. Like, those things seem like they are not...
Yes, no, yes, yes.
I think the mistake that people make, fans make when they analyze players' situations, they forget that they are not... That's
like,
the word. That they are humans.
I think the same thing happened with Di Maria in Manchester United. Yes, he wasn't comfortable.
His wife was not happy that they were in Manchester. Imagine coming home every day from training and your wife is nagging you. What are we still doing here?
And the funny thing is that Di Maria, he hit the ground running like in the first few games.
So good.
And you like, I think this was the missing link.
Yes.
And if you have a mental block, even Messi had a mental block.
He had, obviously.
Argentina.
Yes.
Oh, he had.
Like, you could see that
the frustration was getting too much.
In Barcelona, it's different from Messi of Argentina.
What's going on? And then people were telling me that everybody is bad. Like the whole Argentina team.
Higuain is flopping.
Because of Higuain.
I have to ask them, is it that you don't rate Messi? Like, is this... Messi will do something
magical.
Normally, like that World Cup final now, there was a chance Messi missed. And people were like, it was a very hard chance. I'm like, it's as if you don't rate Messi.
At all.
This thing, Messi will score it in his sleep 20 times out of 20. But sometimes, pressure can get to you. Things can happen. And it's not an indictment on the person. Or it doesn't mean that the person is a bad
This kind of thing happens.
Yeah, human beings. You know, but everybody's just like treating them like robots. And
well, one last one now, because you're talking about Onana in the previous episode about Onana is this, Onana that. What's your opinion? Because remember how they let go of the gear because of not being a ball-playing goalkeeper. So what exactly is your idea of what's your opinion about the term ball-playing goalkeepers?
This De Gea topic always makes me laugh because years ago, 2016, 2017, we're having that Courtois De Gea conversation back then. I mean, I was always for Courtois. But I said something, and my fans were in my mentions for 4 days. They wanted to finish me. Hey, God. I can never forget it. And I said that goalkeeping for me, and generally, is about threat prevention and dealing with threats, right?
Yeah.
So I'd rather block you from playing a cross than wait for you to play the cross
and save it.
And save it.
Because there's a higher risk I concede. But if I don't allow the cross to happen at all, I've avoided a threat completely. But if you now cross and I catch it,
I push it out for a corner.
It's less risky than when you cross, I wait in the post, you now head it, and I have to make it.
And that's how De Gea plays.
Yeah, and that's how De Gea plays. So I said De Gea is very reactive.
Very, very.
Right, very, very reactive.
One of the best.
But he's a very good shot stopper. Like in terms of shot stopping, his reflexes and everything, he's mad.
I think it's best for me.
You know, and that time they were saying De Gea was best goalkeeper in the world. And I said, while I appreciate his talents, you can't call him the best goalkeeper in the world. That was what started the argument. Though. I said you can't because number one, he has not gone to a national team tournament as number one. So he has not faced that kind of pressure.
Yeah.
Number two, that time Man U were not going far in Champions League or anything. So like, if you are saying someone is the best, you can't just use league form.
Has to be at the big stage.
But if it's that one, I'll go to Ligue 1 and carry somebody and say, this person is best in the world.
You carry Madanda.
Everybody can do the same
You carry
thing.
Steve Madanda.
Do you get? But you can't just use league football. You have to also see how the person...
How's he doing international with
bigger
Spanish
stages and
teams,
stuff. Do you
every...
get? And then the guy now went to Euro 2016 and now made howlers. And I was just looking at everybody. I said, see, pressure is different. You
In
can
World
be
Cup too.
very good. And then when it's time for pressure, when pressure hits you, it will be as if you don't even know how to ball at all. But that wasn't even my point. My point was, in comparing him and Courtois, I was saying that the guy is very reactive. Courtois deals with threats before they happen. So the guy might not, Courtois might not have the flashy saves. But what he does, every time a cross comes in, Chelsea fans, they'll just be like this. Because Courtois will collect it. And there's no threat from set pieces.
Yeah.
But with the guy, he's waiting. He's not coming out. He's afraid to come out and everything. So I said those things matter.
I call him a coward when it comes to that.
Yeah.
A big
For
one.
how many years you still didn't come out? Then also, you know that you play for Spain. Spain, they have that philosophy, goalkeeper.
You must know how to play the
So
ball.
you already start training for that.
Exactly. Exactly my point.
Yourself
If-
in that regard.
over
Because
the
at
years,
some point, they would...
They
and what
will
happened?
need it.
Spain dumped him. Because they're like, this one. Okay.
even if he can keep
And even in the keeping self, he was not now doing it well.
at that
He was
particular
making
point.
mistakes.
Because of pressure.
Because, and you know, you also have to keep your concentration. I told people that time that I think the gear thrives better when they are firing shot at him.
Yes.
Exactly. Because when he's always relaxed, he forgets
Makes
himself.
mistakes.
Yes.
So like, and that concentration is very important for keepers and just being in the moment. But some keepers are better off when they can be in the moment at any time. No,
You
you
can
can
just switch on. Yeah.
No, yeah.
I can't remember the Manchester Derby where Man U played against Man City that we lost 3-0 now. I think Ederson for the first 10, 15, 20 minutes,
he was not in the game.
nothing.
Well, you see, the
But in the moment Man U had a
shots.
chance, yes, he made a save.
Exactly. So like those kind of things, goalkeepers are different. They're different kinds of. So you know the kind of goalkeeper you have. And the gear zone is when they are firing 50 shots. The
You
guy
will
will
see the best
49.
of
And
Yeah.
as always, Man U is always in that
Always
mood
in
now,
that mode.
yes.
So when Man U now wanted to transition to a team that will not
Calm
be
down.
conceding shots anyhow, voila. When the guy will now go to Spain, they will pass the ball for 40 minutes. The guy is bored.
And when they just
then
have
one
the
chance-
One chance like this, before you know it, ball has entered.
He's
And I was
panicked.
like, what's going on with the gear? It's not. I'm like, the kind of keeper he is, he needs to be alert. And if you are seeing that he's not alert, that's where your defenders come in. Shout at him.
give him.
Keep him in the moment.
Yes.
Keep him. That's what Puyol used to do for Piqué. Because Piqué too had concentration issues. You shout at him. Piqué, are you okay? Are you okay? Like every 5 minutes, even when the ball is not there, just
Signal to him,
Signal, yeah.
he's there in the moment. He's the moment.
get. Some keepers get bored. And when they get bored, they are not even seeing what's happening on the pitch.
Of
because
course,
they're
they are
not
at the
pass.
back. Where did they go?
Those kind of things. So-
One very last one, very
But I'm not
very
even
important.
finished. That's not the point. But like, so on the guest part, what he didn't do well was that he
He didn't
didn't
evolve.
evolve.
Didn't
like he
evolve.
should
That's
have.
the
And there are
answer.
reports that they were trying to teach him, especially in Van Gaal's time, and he
Yeah.
got sacked because he said he doesn't want all this
No.
whatever, and eventually
That he's good.
came back to bite him. That's why I don't really pity him too much. But I was saying it last season that this thing that people are doing, that you are demonizing the guy like this, and making sure that everything that he does is under the mic, even things that are not his fault. You say it's his fault. The problem is that when the next keeper comes, the people that
Are
offended
saying
that-
exactly.
Yes.
They will
They will
put
now
all the
anything
blame.
that person does. So you have to
Easy.
put pressure on the next keeper that is coming. It was time to let the guy go. Because the
Time.
thing that was
I
making
think he even left when Madrid came for him.
At
then.
that particular time, that was
Yes.
his
because
peak.
the thing that was making them overlook the other things, the shot stopping, it was not as good at it
Anymore, yeah.
He had lost some of that ability. So okay, it's no longer as good in shots. So what are the perks that we're getting from this guy? What are we getting from him anymore? Like, how do we rationalize still having
This
him?
shot stopping and
You
the
get-
ball
okay, so
playing.
now it's not okay. It's time to let him go. Oh yeah, make a decision and let him go. Tell him 6 months in advance, Oga.
Get a club.
We're not offering you a new deal. Instead, man, you went to offer him.
Wait.
Then they didn't now sign it.
You know.
Then the next
Even Ten Hag even mentioned about, we want him here. You know, all those
things. So you just worsened the matter, turned it into such a big deal, and then now created a divide in the fan base, put pressure on the next keeper that is coming.
There's a whole lot.
The way they treated the girl was terrible.
It would have been a simple issue of him saying, okay, last season was his last season.
Exactly.
He had a chance to say proper goodbye to the fans. Give him a good, because he's one of the long-serving goalkeepers in Man United.
More than 9
years. He's had an opportunity to probably just say his goodbyes, finish everything on good terms, and then he leaves. And then anybody coming in next comes in on a clean slate. But now Onana has the issue about the whole, but then because the girl is not the ball play, but my issue now is that down to the ball play now, because even then, I say, Man don't have midfielders that can play the ball. It's called football for a reason. We have people that treat the ball as like it's very hot, like hot buns. We are eating hot buns now, like very hot buns, like bomb. Do you understand? Like Bruno gets the ball and you want to recycle possession. You don't have Zima. Is it who will recycle? Fred, McTominay.
The system.
So bringing Onana as a ball playing goalkeeper now is not affecting. It's showing the big.
The reality is that it was not even a secret to everybody that this is what Man you want to do. They want to have ball playing.
Exactly.
Passing the ball. So now nobody's pressing Onana.
Nobody's pressing.
So now everybody has counteracted that plan. Like, oh, this is your plan. You want to bring ball playing so that you can be passing out.
No problem. We will not touch you. Yeah, come and attack.
And it's the same thing that Man City did in Champions League final. They did not press Onana. Because if you go and press him, problem for you. So, you have it.
He got the opportunities to get to Lukaku in that final.
If you are wasting your time. You are even going to put yourself in trouble. Because once you press that thing, you just play one ball.
And before you know, two people are part of them.
And you are in trouble. So now nobody's pressing the Onana. So that original plan for bringing Onana is dead. Because nobody's going to press him. Everybody's waiting for him to play the ball.
Unlike when the girl was there, yes.
They would press when the girl was there.
Exactly.
And so Ten Hag should have prepared for that possibility that, okay, after bringing this keeper and they don't press him, what next? And that's where your lack of players who can actually
come and get the ball,
the midfielders.
And so you don't have that, and your keeper is ball playing, but
I think in the match against Copenhagen in Champions League, where at some point he had to leave his goalkeeper and come like a midfielder. Was play like a goalkeeper and a midfielder and coming to get the ball and distribute it.
I think you just have to say that, though you can argue that ball playing goalkeepers is a thing that is a thing of the moment, but players like Alisson, exactly. Players like Alisson,
do these things.
Ederson, at the point, Ederson and Oblak were in the same team. In Benfica. Both of them were in the same team. I think in one local club in Portugal. I think it's either Rio Ave or so. I can't really remember the exact thing. But they've always been around. Now, is it why we are seeing most of them? Because now you look at Robert Sanchez of Chelsea. He's also into that style. I don't know, maybe something happened with De Zerbi and he got out because I don't know, he was not doing some things out. He had some issues with De Zerbi. Yeah. But now almost every team have keepers who can play the ball.
The thing is that now modern football, right? The whole modern football concept. There's nothing new in football.
Football is
I say this all the time. All these Pep is doing 3-5-1-10-1-2. I showed that formation from 100 years ago. All the thinkers in football, they've died and gone away because there's not much more you can think up that is new. So people just go back, take ideas,
everything,
and
touch 1-2 things.
The Leverkusen goalkeeper that later was in Bayern. That guy has scored against Juventus in 3 clubs, by the way. That bot guy, he was a ball-playing keeper. That's why that time he used to make a lot of mistakes because it's part
he
of.
Will actually come out.
So he was always known as this guy who wasn't particularly good at shot stopping, but that is his leg. When he gets the ball, he was doing it. Barthez was doing it, even though he was a
Valdez was doing it too.
Valdez was doing it. Like these things have always keepers used to.
No, but Liverpool's keeper really is someone else. I think he has found a balance.
Yeah.
Alisson for me has to be balanced. He's good at making good save, shot stopper, and also good at playing the ball. He's not as fantastic as being ball playing, but then he's balancing both sides. And I think people are saying ball playing. You have to do the number one priority as a goalkeeper, is to stop shots from going into your post.
Ball playing is a luxury. And it's a luxury you get to after you have passed the first stage of goalkeeper can save ball. Shot stopping, aerial prowess, command of area, all those things. You have settled it. Then you now want to take the team to the next stage, the next level. Okay, now you need to be able to. That's a luxury. That's the second level. So if you have not
faced the first level. Now this brings you to a question about statistics. Now you're talking about this even now. What qualifies a good goalkeeper? Is it some people will argue? Is it shot conversion rate? Is it goals conceded? Is it clean sheets?
Saves,
save percentage,
claims.
What qualifies a goalkeeper? Or do you think stats?
No, I can use Arsenal goalkeepers dilemma, for instance. Now Ramsdale and Raya. Now people are saying that this. I saw some stats. People are posting stats on social media. I'm seeing stats for goalkeeper, and it's stats about
passes.
I've been a keeper. I've been nothing about saves.
About saves.
Yeah, for me, like I said, it's threat prevention. So I did one analysis that time of the guy, Lloris, Courtois. Who was the last goalkeeper? I can't remember. One of those big team goalkeepers.
Chestega?
No. It was an English team. That time, Courtois was
Pickford.
at Chelsea. No, it wasn't Pickford. I can't remember the fourth keeper. But there were four keepers. It was the guy of Man U, Courtois of Chelsea, Lloris of Tottenham. No, it wasn't Czech. I can't remember, but it was 4 goalkeepers. And I wanted to analyze everything. So I put everything there. High claims,
low claims, saves, short faced.
Everything. I put everything together. And I analyzed, I broke them down into what they meant. In terms
of little bits. Exactly.
Threats faced and how much the goalkeepers handled the threats.
Yeah.
And I was able to just analyze it. And the data told me what I already said about threat prevention, because you have to find that balance, right? So you don't claim crosses. So all the time, they're always crossing and they're always scoring you from set pieces. But you're always making saves.
Yeah.
They cancel each other out. For all the saves that you're making, you're also costing your
team, yes.
Through
chance of conceding.
So you have to look at everything in totality. And that's why there's a stat called PSXG. I think that's the most accurate stat for goalkeepers. It's PSXG plus or minus. So if the person is in a minus, that means the person has cost the team
more than he's actually
So if you
done.
check, and it's actually pretty solid. Like, it gives you a very, very good picture
of what's happening.
Is performing. If you check De Gea, his best season, which was that 17-18.
Yes.
You see, his PSXG was plus 14 or something. That's like he saved Man U 14. They have considered 14 more goals than they conceded. And if you check it, Oblak had like 3 seasons like that.
Yeah.
And those were seasons where it was super
consistent.
Yes. There was a season where Oblak went down. Like you could tell that Oblak was not at his level.
Yeah, exactly.
Check the stats, you see in -2. So it gives you like, it's not obvious, it's not
We're
perfect,
giving like an overview
it's accurate. When I looked at Mamadashvili last season, or 2 seasons ago rather, and I looked at his whatever, it was in a -1, but he was having a good season. But the reason why it was in a -1 was that in the first 3 games that he played, after he was shining in the first game, next 2, he made some very bad errors that cost the team.
Yeah.
But then he now made up for it later, but it wasn't
Amounts
enough
to
override those negatives that he had
exactly.
already done. So it's that he got better, but overall, when you looked at everything together, it was still owing the universe, right?
Yeah.
So that stats kind of gives you a picture, but you can never use data in isolation. You have to understand the context
of the data. And just you don't just amount like say, okay, look at the save.
Yeah.
No, some people, I think fans just need to.
No, but I think there's one thing I think about stars now. Like now, usually unlike before where you saw Zidane won the Ballon d'Or with just what he can do. But now football has, I don't know, have evolved into much of stats.
Yeah.
You see a player and like say he's a goalkeeper, for instance, or a defender, and he's actually has good clean sheets. But then you can't rate him higher in a Ballon d'Or because a goalkeeper scored more goals than him.
I have that.
So, but I think for me, Mourinho, some instance, stats has actually killed football, right? I mean, this era compared to that time,
it has had negatives. That it has, like the perception, the way fans view the game nowadays.
Okay, that's for the negative. Yeah. What about the positive for the scouts?
It's brought a lot of positives too.
For the scouts, because there has been a lot of analysis, and like most of those analysis, the reports that a good scout, you hire me and say I should go and look for a player. You hire me and I look at, and this is the result. I know that this is exactly what I'm doing.
I'll give you one example. Naif Aguerd, West Ham.
Yes.
The Moroccan international.
One random day like that, I was going through. Back then, it was in Dijon, in France. That was they were the worst team in France by the second season.
I remember
first season, they were still somewhere. So I was just going through, because sometimes I just routinely go through data. I'm just looking for something that will get me. And the team was conceding a lot of goals. It was a centre back, conceding a lot of goals and everything. They were a fun team, by the way. I really liked that team because I started watching them because of that. But I saw that there was something about his stats. It was like an outlier. It was as much as they were conceding, there were some
good points.
I'm like, what is it about this guy? So I went and started watching Dijon to see him. I saw other people that I loved. I saw him. I was like, this guy is very
He's made for it.
Then they got relegated, but he moved to Rennes. Now, Rennes, they are the team. If you want to know the player that is going to the next level, go to Rennes.
Yeah, exactly.
But what they do is they go through France, they look for the players that are performing in smaller teams,
academies,
and they carry them into their team. So that's Doku came from there.
Yeah. Gochuku came from there as well.
Dembele is quite young.
When we sign that person, if there's anybody shining in a small team, even if the numbers are not looking at like because
even if you are from League C,
they will see that player and they will sign the player. And when the player comes, you will not be like, where did this person come from? They signed Mendy too. It was Mendy that.
Yes, exactly.
They do that so well. And so they signed Naif, and I was like, awesome. And the next thing, this guy just exploded because he was in a better team.
Yeah, better player.
People were seeing him or it came out, yeah.
Next thing, West Ham. And I said, it's better than West Ham. Said. Like, this guy is so good. And you saw him in Morocco too. Like,
one of the shining lights in the World Cup. Yeah,
and all it took was, I was looking through data and I noticed something. That this guy, there's no how. If I look at, there was someone I found in the lower divisions in France some years ago. What's that his name again? It was like Verratti.
Oh, okay.
Like, I was just looking at his numbers in League 2. I was like, this guy is crazy. And I went to start watching him because guy was built like Verratti, same height and everything.
Ball movement, positioning.
And I was like, why is nobody signing this guy? It was a Lyon product. Why is nobody signing this guy? And the guy ended up going to Belgium, a team fighting relegation. I also
he hurts like
I don't know what was scout. I know people scouts are doing so well in some clubs. Looks Brighton, for instance, they have one of the best, for me in my opinion, one of the best scouts in Premier League because they always have. You see Caicedo, they took chances on him. You see McAllister, these players. Very soon now, this current what's this new guy that signed? Baleba. Yes, very soon now, probably next 1 year. I think also next 2 years now. One club will be booking 100 million for him now. So then down from those players now into a world, like I said, starts probably with some extent killing games. Ballon d'Or, FIFA, this thing. There's always this rivalry of some Ronaldo fans who like, even if Messi wins 10,000 Ballon d'Ors, Ronaldo is still the GOAT. And there's this one, Messi fans who like, Messi has won 8 Ballon d'Or. Where is Ronaldo? But then the awards for like, say, for the past 10, 12 years, some people say that sometimes controversies. Messi shouldn't have won this award for this year. Ronaldo shouldn't have won this award for this year. I'm saying Haaland did everything good.
Yeah.
Because that's something, that is a season and more in a new club.
It's a whole lot.
For Man City in a big club, and then yet he still couldn't win the Ballon d'Or.
Well, first thing I'll say is that...
If it's you, who will you vote for?
I already said it. Now Haaland was my choice.
Really?
Yes, Messi second.
In the World Cup year. In the World Cup year.
Yeah, because all the World Cup years where someone won something,
wasn't because of
It wasn't like if
because
you
of
look at
that
it,
season.
there are different eras, Sha. In the previous era, the World Cup was different. Like it meant a different thing because we didn't have access to league football like we do now.
Okay.
So people didn't really care about league football.
The World Cup was
Was
number
the
one.
main
Play
stage.
international. If you say AFCON, what AFCON is now, do you get the same feeling that you used to get before?
No.
You don't. Because that time, like, okay, you have finished playing all those things that you're playing in your club. Come and do it
in the
your
country.
national team.
Like
So if you are-
Copa America, like almost every year now.
Like, come and do it in your national team. Let's see. It meant a lot more, right? Because that's the only time we used to get to see the global
These
stars
players.
like that. Like in a full tournament, we'll have all those things that they used to prepare. We'll read all the fixtures, everything.
Exactly,
Like, the hype is
preview.
much. Now, it has been kind of watered down, but it's still the ultimate. World Cup is the ultimate in football. But the football itself is changing. And we also need to have like consistency, right? In 2018, I felt Ronaldo should have won that.
Yeah.
But in 2014, I
League
felt
stuff.
Ronaldo shouldn't have won it.
At all.
The
The Ballon d'Or.
Ballon d'Or.
I felt he shouldn't have won it. And because I felt like his club
Trophies, achievements.
Its club achievement was not as his performances that year were not strong enough to supersede what the Germans
Did the World Cup.
did in the World Cup and all of that. Like there always has to be a balance, Sha. But again, football, all these awards, they are not consistent in their metrics. Okay, 2018 came. Who was your what do you call it? Who was
Ballon
your
d'Or.
best player? Modric didn't really contribute to Madrid's CL
See of them, exactly.
final. He was even on the bench. Isco was playing,
Isco was the
outballing
rave.
him. You know, and all
But
of that.
I think they use the
They now
metrics
use the
for the
World
World Cup. Yes.
But it's like the thing changes every year.
Because I'm seeing Griezmann this year.
Griezmann
20 something.
Use the World Cup. It doesn't make sense.
Like, because
That's the
Now,
thing.
the reason why I said Haaland is because Haaland's club season was too strong.
too phenomenal.
If he didn't have a season that strong, I'd have said
Messi.
World Cup, you know. And people say, okay, if it was Mbappe, you would have said Mbappe. And I'm like, it's a bit different because Mbappe was player of the season in France.
And scored a hat-trick in the final.
Yeah, but even remove World Cup,
You already
I felt
got that
I felt
pedigree.
like nobody would have put Messi in that conversation without the World Cup.
Yeah.
But you could still have put Haaland in the conversation
conversation
without
the World
CL,
Cup.
even though it wasn't
The
like
Champions
without
League,
even
yeah.
winning Champions League because he broke records. He was
Yes.
player of the year in England. It was this and that. That was my own.
Young player of the year,
But I
player
have no
of the
problem
year.
with Messi winning it.
Yeah.
But I also feel that one thing needs to be said. Messi did not need 8 Ballon d'Ors for us to know that
He's a goat.
we didn't need all of that. It didn't need, and I feel that they felt like they needed to validate that
claim.
opinion.
So
and that
to you now, Messi is the greatest of all time.
not of all time, of this generation.
Of this generation.
It's one of the
Okay.
greatest of all time.
Who is your GOT? GOAT.
My go-to will always be Pele. Pele, okay, Messi is over Maradona at this point.
Okay.
But Pele
For you?
for me. And it's because I feel like it's going to be unfair for anybody coming after Pele. Because what Pele did is just like Real Madrid's greatest player ever.
But Pele did these
And
things
never not
for Brazil, actually. Now, talk about his club size now. People don't really know much about
He
it.
did a lot.
He did
He
things.
actually
He did
a lot.
things.
He actually
Santos.
did a lot. But even at that time, World Cup was the ultimate.
Exactly. That's
When
exactly
I
what he's
played
talking
everything,
about.
And Pele played against all these Europeans. That
At a
everybody
very,
talks
very
about
young
that didn't play
stage.
in Europe.
Yeah.
And he dominated all of them.
But
It's
the
just
World
like
Cups.
how, what do you call it now? Real Madrid's greatest player ever. It will always be Di Stefano.
Yeah.
It's not Ronaldo. There's nothing anybody can do. Because Di Stefano, when he came, Madrid had like 2 league titles.
And then he left
By the time he was
with
leaving, he had like 11. He carried Madrid from... He's the one
nothing.
that created the Madrid that we know. Like, it's Di Stefano's work.
Yeah.
Madrid becoming this club. Like 3 clubs or 2 clubs had more league titles than Madrid when Di Stefano came. He's the one that came with the 5 CLs and all of that. Like, so those things, the work that someone does to establish will always count
more than someone that comes to
just come and feel part of it.
Yeah, it always feel like see, truth is, if Messi says it's the greatest, you can't argue it.
So he has won it everywhere, yeah.
You don't have, there's no flaw. There's no,
I can say that.
There's no comma. There's no question mark. He has
the points that people were trying to prove that he didn't leave
club
Spain.
Career,
he went to and he still won the league. Exactly.
2 league titles there. Like he has won.
He has even won something in MLS as where he's playing now. Yes.
12 league titles, I think.
Yeah.
4 Champions League titles. So he has done domestic league. He has done domestic cups. He has done Champions League.
Copa del Rey.
So he has one of the greatest international careers.
Yeah.
He has perhaps the greatest club career. You know, so like in every metric you can use, Messi is there. And then if you now say, okay, forget all the numbers and everything, performances, consistency.
Yes.
Like it ticks
Nobody
everything.
does it.
So like
Nobody
you can't
like
put a flaw in his whatever.
So nothing for Ronaldo.
No. He's not saying Ronaldo is not.
The truth is that I always said that Messi was better than Ronaldo. I've said that since that. That's why whenever people used to ask me, I'll say, why is he asking me? Like I've said this a long time ago, and people will be so I'll now start playing with him because I'm like, why do you keep asking me?
Yeah.
I said it. In fact, one time I said it, and Ronaldo fans wanted to kill me. That was like 6 years ago, 5 years ago. I said, all of you know that Messi is better. You know, in your heart of hearts, you know, yes, you want
just
to
keep
do
stressing
You know, when you see the 2 of them, you know that even Ronaldo knew. There was a point where Ronaldo got to know. It was that 2010. Because Ronaldo was still believing in himself.
That year.
2009. But that day they lost 5-0. Something changed. When Messi was walking off after they kicked him and Ronaldo was watching him. Ronaldo knew that, oh, this guy better pass me. Let me not lie. Let me not lie. This guy is better than me. But you see, the argument Ronaldo wanted to win wasn't who is better.
I can also do it.
I know achieved more.
Who is greater? And to be greater, you don't need to be better.
You need to put in the hard work and show that you can also do those things.
Exactly.
So getting
Ronaldo
the 5 Ballon d'Or is a lot.
6 Ballon d'Or and Messi was on 5. Ronaldo now had more Champions Leagues than Messi, more Champions League goals than Messi, more this that. You'll not be looking and be saying, even if he's better than me,
I've achieved more than him.
I'm greater because I've done more. I have more achievements. And that's what Ronaldo wanted to do. Let me win more. Let me win more Ballon d'Or. Let me win. So that's what Ronaldo was
working hard for.
Going hard at it and everything. And, I mean, he did well. We have to give him credit.
In Champions League, he blew teams.
Next thing, 4-4. I mean, 4-3, 5-3, 5-4. Like, I don't know. But
I'm doing it in Sporting, doing it in Man United, doing it in Real Madrid. You know, like he goes, his goals and ratio in appearance in Madrid is like, I'm like, wow.
Insane. Like to maintain that consistency for 9 years, it's insane. And to be able to match Messi's numbers, because Messi's numbers are not normal.
How this score 91 goals? Oh my God.
Like to be able to match the numbers and still give, like, it did. Like Ronaldo deserves his credit, and it's not bad to be number 2 to Messi. It's not a bad thing. Everybody treats it like it's a bad thing. It's not. And the way we carry out these arguments, like back then when you're arguing Ronaldo and Zidane, Ronaldo Nazario, Zidane, Ronaldinho, even if you said Zidane was better, it wasn't a...
Not really a bad
thing. Yeah.
Ronaldinho, if you said Ronaldinho, it wasn't like you were insulting Zidane. It's just like
your choice, your opinion.
And it's okay for you to think this person is, for me, this is my choice. This is my number 1.
Yes.
It's okay if you think
I was say in my opinion. Yeah. Now speaking of Ronaldo now and now world class players now, because you know that Ronaldo, like I said, I think Ronaldo and Messi are aliens on their own because they came in normally. You supposed to have.
Just to add, people always try to make it seem as if comparing Ronaldo to Messi is an insult to Messi. It's not. That's something that
they're great players.
Said. Messi needed Ronaldo.
So of course he keeps admitting.
Messi wasn't playing free kicks.
Both of them keep admitting
at first. Next thing, Ronaldo just scored free kick. I remember Messi's first free kick goal. I just noticed that Messi don't play free kick goal. What's going on? Like, and the comment I made that time, I can remember. I just said, yeah, he's stepping up to the challenge. Like he wants to
show that he can't play free kicks
he wants to do more. And if Messi didn't have a Ronaldo pushing him,
both of them
Ronaldo
keep
didn't have
admitting.
Messi to look at and say, I'm going to beat this guy. We won't have had
that.
what we
So
had.
I'm saying, like, I think in the next, I don't know how far, maybe in the next 10, 20 years, I'm not sure we'll have that kind of strong rivalry between
But people
Messi
always
and
say that
Ronaldo.
even putting Ronaldo's name is an insult. It's not. They had a rivalry. So one person can be better in a rivalry, but it's still a rivalry.
But for the fact
And
that
Ronaldo
for 10 years,
yes.
yes, I think most players, their ripe period is like 4 or 5 years, you know, and then you go down. But these players were going for a decade.
First second, switching, first second. Even there was a time after that 2010, 2011, when Pep was beating Madrid.
Yeah.
I said, Madrid are finished. Like, they have a mental block.
Exactly.
Next thing, they went and did calma at Camp Nou.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how? And the next thing, they started beating Barcelona. I thought it was impossible.
And before you knew it, back to back Champions League.
Yeah. So, like, those things, that's what makes the sport. The sport is competitive. And comparisons are normal. And when two players are doing such great things, when someone has 5 Ballon d'Ors, how do you say?
It's an insult to compare the person to someone that has 8.
You get, it's not an insult. He has 5 Ballon d'Ors. He scored 401 goals in Madrid. 460 goals.
Almost is if not for age.
Matches he played. Do you get? He was top scorer in Champions League for like 6 years in a row.
Consistently.
Like Ronaldo he has the track record of someone that deserves to be compared. In fact, it's a credit. Like, Messi should feel like, yes, if there's anybody that should be compared to me,
It's Ronaldo.
Because this thing that he's doing is so great. So it's even an honor that this guy
Be compared to me.
Like,
yeah.
You
It's
really
an honor
compare me to
for-
one bomb.
Yeah.
It's like a great player.
Well, speaking of great players now, because now, usually in stats now on social media, there are only small thing. World-class player, world-class player, world-class player. Bellingham has sprung up, world-class player. Vinicius is there, world-class
World-class.
player. So what exactly is the first term? What do you call a player world-class
What's the
player? What is the
criteria
criteria for the tag? And then
How many-
current
how many?
players now, how many now? Because aside Ronaldo and Messi though, yes,
Besides
every
them.
other player.
Okay, so in 2016 as well, I always remember stuff. In 2016, I wrote an article about this world-class debate, and I still stand by what I was saying, which is that, first of all, before you can be world-class, you have to have shown a high level over 3-4 seasons.
No, one season wonder.
Not one season. Anybody can have one good season. But anybody can have 2 good seasons.
Me
In
too.
fact, 3.
You get, but we need to see you at that level more than once, because there are some players that they will shine one season, then they will disappear.
Just like
It's just like
Rashford.
saying Benteke was world class after scoring 20
Michu.
goals in,
Me too.
or Michu, my guy. Michu, you get. But after doing it, you have to do it year in, year out, 3-4 years. Then after I've seen you, so that's why for a 19-year-old to be world class, there has to be something like it would be an outlier. Like Ronaldo Nazario was world class at 19.
Yeah.
Because he was breaking it from
Like he went
15.
to collect Ballon d'Or at 20. Like, yes, this one is.
Not from this world.
We don't have to wait 5 years.
Yeah.
To know that this one is world class.
Another player, probably, I'll say Michael Owen. What he did when he was at a very young age.
Yeah, Owen was
And consistent.
He was putting in world class performances. Like he won top scorer at 18 and 19.
Who does
Like
that?
in England. Like that's just insanity. But the thing is, Owen never had 20 league goals in any season. But to be fair, at the time that he was
Playing
top
at
scorer,
that time.
nobody was scoring 20. He was top scorer with 18 goals. And I think 19 goals.
Who they scored those
So
kind
like,
of goals?
people were not scoring. So
Yeah,
it's a
no high
different
scoring.
Where
era.
the Premier League was really tough.
Yeah, so it's like a different era. That time, if you score 20 goals, you're world class. Now, someone will score 20 goals, they'll say,
He's not trying enough.
Rashford scored 30 goals
30,
in all competitions. They say, That's
I
trash.
can remember La Liga when they had the likes of Aspas, Neymar,
Yeah.
Ronaldo, Messi, Suarez. And then these players scored 20 plus goals. And then
Ronaldo
it's
and
nothing
Messi
because Messi they've scored like times 2 of what they played.
Falcao scored 24 league goals or something. And Messi had like 48 and 46.
You'll be like,
Had Ronaldo had 46, Messi had 50. And it was almost like
what's going on? This league,
they gapped him with
times
almost
2.
the same number of goals that he scored.
And at that time, Falcao was treated like
crazy.
Atletico
And all these
Madrid.
things. So like things have changed. I think it's easier to score in this era. That's my opinion.
Okay.
It's easier to score because, first of all, the quality spread is smaller. All the best players are concentrated in too few teams. If you go to Serie A of the 90s, at least 8 teams
have different players.
Like
world-class players.
Yes, and at least 8 of them could win the league.
On their own.
From Roma to Inter to Lazio to
Napoli.
Parma to Juventus, Milan. So if Zidane is playing against all these people, today we jam this one, you will see Seedorf there. Tomorrow we jam this one, we Costa there. So like that quality
is everywhere.
And these are players that in their own right, they can say I'm world class and
argue that
yes.
Yeah, I am actually world class.
Can't argue with them that this one is.
But currently now, which player, like in your own opinion, which player will you say, okay,
let's box him up to 5.
This guy is world class.
5?
Yes, let's
way more than 5 now.
No, now.
Currently now.
I want to box you up to 5.
Haaland, KDB, Rodri, Vinicius. I think Vini is world class, yeah. Even though Vini does not.
Harry Kane.
That's my 4 seasons thing. Well, I can make an exception for him because.
What about Harry Kane?
But Griezmann is world class. Let me put Vini aside. Griezmann is world class. Harry Kane is world class. Those are the cream of the crop, the best of the best.
Yeah.
I feel that first of all, if you are a top 5 player in your position, you are world class automatically. And if for you to be a top 5 player in your position, it's not by 1 year.
Yeah. Consistency.
I've seen you for 3-4 years. So like Harry Kane now, we know what Harry Kane is and has been. And then also on top of the consistency, you have to have excelled at the highest
level.
Biggest stages.
World Cup, Champions League.
So like Mbappe now,
Euros.
You can't argue Mbappe because World Cup final.
Hat-trick goes anybody.
And he has scored in 2 World Cup finals. What he did, like in the latter stage of the World Cup, there's Champions League as well where he has done well. Then you can't argue Haaland because we've seen him.
Done it for Salzburg, Dortmund,
across leagues. He has been best player in the league in Austria, Germany, and England.
So where else do you want to do it?
And then on top of that, you now have like Champions League. We've seen him top Bayern apart, top Leipzig apart. Okay, this guy is world class.
One last question now before we round up now. Generally, you talk about stats and players back and then, past, present, football back and then and now. Are football, will you say your opinion, has football fallen off?
Like much.
Like the tackles, then footballers play like as though their life depends on it. They can just smash you from the back and referee keeps playing.
I think
it evolved for the better in that regard, which is also why it's hard to compare eras. Because if you watch a Maradona video, if you watch one Maradona video of just them kicking him for 10 minutes, you will be terrified. You wonder, how did this guy... There's one video like that was on Twitter. See, there was one point Maradona was running. The guy kicked him. He fell down. He stood up. Kicked him again. Everybody was like, Maradona can't lie down for floor. Say, wait, I do. Now just ball, I won't play. Like, those guys, they went through a lot. They kicked Pele out of a World Cup. Like, they kicked him until he had to go away.
Injured.
They kicked him out of a World Cup. They did it again the next World Cup. Like 2 World Cups in a row, they kicked Pele out. Like, Oga. So even in that 66 World Cup, he had to now come back and just try to play with the injury.
Yeah, he wasn't really at it.
He wasn't himself again. And they lost. And everybody was like, hey, Pele.
So, but what aspects has football fallen off actually for you?
Football has fallen off in terms of, first of all, the technical level across board. You can go and watch a random match from 2001 between, maybe a Champions League quarterfinal match.
Okay.
And you will see the technical level. I went back to watch a random Valencia match. Valencia versus Barcelona, 2000 actually, semi-final of Champions League. And yes, they didn't have these, they weren't like the way Pep teams are, for instance, where you want to pass, connect. These ones, they used to give themselves ball long. Someone collect ball, we just send it long.
But when they hold it,
the person that is collecting the ball, you can volley it one time and you will see the way it connects. Like, what kind of technique is that? Or he will just bring the ball down. And the way he does it, like
seamless.
Defenders, the midfielders, everybody, their technical level was and that was because there was a lot of emphasis on technical level.
Yeah.
So if you are not technically gifted, you cannot reach that level. Even the most non-technical or the ones that were like
a whole lot of hard work.
Very highly technical. Now, just any random person will just next person is playing in Man U.
Why my club? Oh my God!
There's some players I see in Madrid, and I'm like, what are you doing in Madrid? Like, is this madness? How can you be in Madrid? Mariano, what are you doing in Madrid?
Even when Barcelona had the likes of was it Paulinho?
Yeah, what are you doing in Barcelona?
Vermaelen.
That's not your level. Like, go and sit down somewhere. You get, but before we used to have like the best of the best. Of course, top teams will always have like some players that are just support and everything. But their prominence
now it has been so consistent. It has spread abroad everywhere.
So many teams have such mediocre players. Like their technical level, they are struggling. That's why we are celebrating ball playing centre backs.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. Because
can play the ball.
John Terry used to do this thing in his sleep. Give John Terry ball, just collect it and play. Give Gallas ball. Very good on the ball. Like, it was a normal thing for defenders to go and look at Maldini with the ball. When Maldini is carrying the ball forward.
I didn't know send anybody. You could just go front like that.
Look at those guys, look at now. And you see what we are celebrating as, oh my God, wow, this guy is so good.
Ball playing goalkeeper.
Like, my defenders that wouldn't even score ball playing. They used to do these things in their sleep. Like, go and watch any old match. You just see them play one long pass like this. Person have landed on the person's leg. You get. So I feel that technical level has gone down a lot. So and that affects the overall quality because football is a technical game. You cannot take it out. How can Man U be saying that they don't have players that can
receive the ball from the goalkeeper?
You're a midfielder. How can you not be able to do that?
That should be your core.
That's ridiculous. So how did you reach this level? How did you get promoted?
For somebody that got to the academy.
You get. How did you get to this level without being able to do certain things? I see some players and my head
for my club.
Hot. Yeah, and it's so frustrating.
What do you want to say about Chelsea?
Seriously.
What do you want to say about Chelsea?
Those things.
Okay.
There are a lot.
Now, aside Man City's winning and every.
Yeah.
As a club.
I also think football got easier.
As a club. It got easier.
Yeah.
Well.
For bigger teams.
But as a club.
I was saying 100 points. Do you know that?
City.
Let me give you a stat. Do you know that every top 5 league, their points record was broken this past decade? Like this in the 2010s.
Spain, yeah.
Twice. That's 100 points, 100 points. So 2 teams hit 100 points. And England, 100 points, Man City.
Twice.
Italy, 102 points. Juventus under Conte. Bundesliga, their 12-13 team. It wasn't 100 points because they played 34 matches. And France, 96 points.
That's why it's easy to see players scoring 45 goals, 50 goals.
And the only top 5 league that didn't have their goals record broken was the French league. And that's because one mad team went to score 118 goals in 1960-something. Apart from that, Spain, Madrid scored 121. Barcelona scored 118 in a season. A league season. That's insane. England, Man City did it.
Liverpool at some point, I think.
You get, these records, Germany too, they did it. Italy.
These are no records that are easy
to break. But in one decade, it was broken across board. 4 of the 5 leagues, their points. 4 of the 5 leagues goals records. All 5 leagues points records in one decade. It's not a coincidence. If you check the Champions League top scorers, everybody's from this era, apart from few players like Raul. And even Raul is from the 2000s.
Yeah.
You can't go further back. Everybody is from now. Next thing, people are scoring 100 goals in Champions League. It was unheard of before. How is anybody scoring 100
goals in Champions League?
Yeah.
Who does that?
50 league goals, 46 league goals, 48. I get that they are unicorns, but I'm sorry, I don't think that Ronaldo and Messi scoring 50 goals in Serie A of the 90s. I don't think so. They will score a lot, but they won't score 50 goals.
In one season.
In one season.
Those goals that they score is actually rated high.
Yeah, it was just Madrid will win 10-2.
Who does that?
Rayo. When they caught Rayo that time, that's Benzema,
BBC.
Bale, and Ronaldo all scored hat tricks. Is it a joke? Like yeah, Rayo had a red card, but if a Serie A team of the 90s should get a red card, you are not scoring again. They will not just come out.
Nobody is scoring.
They will lock everywhere, and that's the end.
Nobody is scoring
all
again.
of a sudden now, like all these things are happening, and it doesn't like it upsets me because I feel like football is not supposed to be like this. We're killing. Like football has been killed.
That's fallen off.
VAR, all of VAR. What is about technology? VAR.
Well, VR is necessary. It's the
Human error.
I believe that those humans are trying to sabotage it so that it will go away. Because when there's an error, everybody says VR. Nobody says the ref.
The human, exactly.
The human being. They say VR.
I think
what's the point of VR?
We spoke about that on an episode, and I said it's not really about the technology. It's the people controlling the technology. If I say that this technology is not good, what do you want to say about the goal line technology?
There was one thing that someone said. One ref said one time, or it emerged that the ref didn't want to correct his colleague
on the pitch because
he was an elder.
Yeah?
Like it was someone that was a veteran. What's the point?
That's in Augusta for on top pitch.
Tell him that it's wrong.
Don't pass that one. Well, I think we can't keep talking, huffing and puffing. It's a whole lot. Football, it's a sport that
before you go, one last thing. Just something to just hold my heart now. Man City, Manchester United. Which club do you like more?
I like more. That's always the Man City now. I didn't even just start.
Thank
it's not
you
like
so
when
much.
it was when they signed Tevez or something. No, I've liked Man City.
So even when you're hitting them, it's 1.
Yes.
This is bro.
Since Paulo Wanchop and Shongota.
And you're 2003.
I'm disappointed.
That's 2003.
Or is it because Man U was a team that always tormented teams?
No, I didn't like Man U growing up.
Nobody likes Man U.
No, Man U.
I don't think nobody likes
because
Man U.
in the name Red Devils.
No, like I didn't like Man U. I hated seeing Ferguson's face.
Oh my God.
It just upset me. With chewing gum, I'm feeling like a don. I was always for Arsenal, like in the Man U Arsenal
era.
This thing. I respected the Man U players. I knew that they were good. Like I loved Beckham, loved Scholes. Like I didn't like Giggs.
Why?
And I've been vindicated with all the nonsense he has done in his adulthood.
Roy Keane.
I liked Roy Keane. I liked like all those guys. Nicky Botseff, I liked him.
No, Nicky was good.
I didn't like Gary like that, but I still respected him small. I liked Stam, all those guys. But Man U as a whole. And I was
sad ending to this podcast.
I was sentimental to Leeds United, and Leeds and Man U, they don't see eye to eye.
Yeah.
I loved Leeds with Rio Ferdinand. They now had to sign Rio Ferdinand. They signed Alan Smith. That's when I was angry.
Like, why?
How can you sign Alan Smith?
Why? I think you got your wish because Alan didn't really hit the heights at Manchester United.
But I loved Alan Smith. I loved Viduka, all those guys.
Mark Viduka.
Arikel, and then
Kewell.
They're not relegated. Yeah, like Leeds were my
players have gone.
Like Kewell's technical quality.
Players have gone.
There are some of those players that if you carry them into this era, everybody will be crazy about. See, let's just use John Mikel Obi. Imagine Mikel emerged now.
Wow.
The way everybody will be going crazy about, but that time nobody even appreciated him.
Nobody.
Who's Mikel? Who's Mikel?
He's passing back, but now everybody wants someone that will bring that balance.
The DM, that can tackle, that can pass.
We are missing him even in Super Eagles.
You get. But that time was like, who be this guy? Because you are looking at the team, you are seeing Ballack, Deco, Lampard.
Essien.
Look at the midfield.
How you want to enter?
Ballack, Deco, Lampard, Essien, Mikel.
And just one striker in front.
Then someone will want me to be excited about the players that I'm seeing today. I'm sorry.
Ball playing goalkeepers.
Thank you. So nice. So nice to have you join us.
Yeah, thank you.
I wish we could stay.
No, when next I call you again, probably that time you will not lie that he's 19 years.
No, probably be 25. That be older by day.
I'm getting younger.
You're getting younger.
But thank you so much for having, and thank you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, follow us on all different platforms. On Instagram, we are _podcast.
Roast this guy.
See you in the next episode. Bye.
Amos Valencia.